everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hermione and I love to share ideas with you and ways that you can live your best life on a budget. So in today's video, I'm doing something that I haven't done in what feels like a really long time, but it hasn't been that long really. But it's IKEA hacks and DIYs because I absolutely love making these videos. I love the thrill of going into IKEA and searching for things to turn into something else. As always, these are things from the marketplace that I've upcycled and DIY'd to turn into something completely different, but I will be doing bigger IKEA hacks very soon with actual pieces of furniture, fingers crossed, because I'm going to be moving soon, so I'm going to have so much more space and I'm going to be needing some furniture. So do stay tuned if you want to see those, but for today's video, it's just going to be small hacks that you can make on a budget. So without further ado, let's jump into these IKEA hacks.
So this first project is a starburst mirror DIY, and I love how this turned out, and what you'll need for this from IKEA is a set of straws. You'll also need a circle mirror from the craft store. So draw your circle mirror onto a piece of cardboard and cut that out. You'll need both of these to sandwich the straws between. So basically all you're going to do here is hot glue your straws onto the piece of cardboard in a starburst shape. You'll want to glue these with about an inch worth of overlap onto the cardboard so that they have a good base and that they're sturdy. Do this all around the piece of cardboard. As you can see here, I started different sections to make sure that they were nice and evenly spaced, and then you should have something like this once you're finished, which you can go ahead and spray paint. I spray painted mine gold. It needed about 3 coats, so just beware of that. And then all you need to do is glue your mirror into place. I'm using hot glue once again for this. And that's almost it. Hold on, there's a little bit more. To attach this to the wall, you'll want to add a fixing. So I just used a giant paper clip and I used a ton of hot glue to put this in place, and then I was able to hang that onto the wall. If your mirror is heavy, then you might want to use command strips or something else, but my piece was quite light and this is how it turned out. Next up is a very simple notice board DIY. I'm loving natural fibers at the moment. They're all over Pinterest. So here is a really easy way to IKEA hack a notice board. You'll need one of these placemats, then just transfer the shape of the placemat onto cardboard once again and cut it out. Once you have your cardboard base, you can go ahead and glue your placemat onto it. I'm using hot glue. It sticks really well to the cardboard and to the natural fibers. Now you can use this without the cardboard, but I just think it gives it a bit of extra security and something for the push pins to push themselves into. And once again, to attach this to the wall, I'm just using another paper clip and gluing that very tightly in place like I did for the last DIY. Then once you're finished, you can go ahead and hang this on the wall, and using push pins you can just add in your favourite postcards, photographs, memories. It's just a very cheap and easy way to make a Pinterest-worthy notice board for above your desk. Moving swiftly on to this woven cushion DIY, I saw a really gorgeous woven cushion in Urban Outfitters and I was like, no, I'm not going to spend loads of money, I'm going to DIY it. So for this project you will need 2 of these placemats, which are conveniently already lined up ready for you to cut them. So you want to cut the horizontal stripes where they already are and then cut those in half again so that you have 6 pieces. This is for the first piece. Before going to glue this all together, you might want to switch up the positioning of some of these stripes so you get a bit of a variation in the pattern as well. Moving on to the second placemat, you're going to want to cut these vertically with a spacing of 2 lines per cut, ignoring the outside edges of the trim. Then go ahead and lay those first horizontal pieces out how you'd like them, and you're going to work with 1 vertical piece at a time. So using hot glue or fabric glue, attach the base of the vertical piece in the corner and making sure you're going to cover the edges with glue as you go. And we're just going to weave this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that going on top of one piece and then underneath the next piece, then on top and underneath, and continuously doing that while using the glue to attach the edges together. You want to make sure that every single edge is accounted for before you finish this pillow. Make sure you've glued them in place very firmly. Oh, and a quick side note, I'm using glue for this project because it's too thick to sew. Even if you have a very thick needle on your sewing machine, there's a chance it will snap. So I'm just going to go ahead and use glue for this one. It works really well and it does hold the pillow together. Once you've gotten to the end of that first piece, you're going to start with the second piece. But for this one, if you put the first piece on top, you're going to start the next one with it underneath. So you continue that weaving pattern. Then go ahead and weave it over and under and over and under. You don't have to secure these pieces in the middle, just make sure they're secured on top and at the bottom. Once again, making sure all of those edges are accounted for. Then continue going with the third piece and the fourth piece and so on, and just alternate that weave. You'll get the hang of it. It's pretty simple, it just looks really complicated when you're looking at the footage. Then when you get to the very end, you just want to make sure that all of those extra pieces are secured. Make sure this is 2 placemats that turn into 1 placemat. We're not putting the pillow into this placemat, we're going to use another one on the back. So just make sure they're all secured nice and tightly. Now this is another Ikea placemat, but it's just plain. You can use a stripy one or a plain one, whatever you want, or just a piece of fabric really. Then what you're going to go ahead and do is glue these pieces together. Make sure it is right side facing forward. You're not going to turn this inside out, it's just going to be glued straight together. So use your hot glue gun or your fabric glue and glue 3 sides, leaving an opening for the last one, which you're going to go ahead and stuff your cushion into once your glue has dried. Then you can go ahead and close this edge up with some glue, pinch it together really tightly and hold it while you're gluing it in place so that it's not going to pop open. It might just take a few seconds to a minute to dry nice and tightly. But once you've done that, it should be perfectly sealed and you're good to go. This is the final result, and there will probably be some stray threads that you can cut away if you want, but I wanted to leave mine quite scruffy to make it look just like the Urban Outfitters one. Next up is this very simple hanging planter DIY that I've made here out of a candle holder. So easy, let's get into making it. You will need this very specific candle holder from Ikea because it already has holes in it. You'll need 4 keychains and a length of chain. So go ahead and start cutting your piece of chain. You need 3 equal pieces, or 4 if you want to go ahead and do 4, but 3 is enough. So make sure they're all the same length. Mine was actually an old necklace, so it had this jump ring on the end. So I'm going to use this instead of an extra keychain. So I'll be using 3 keychains here instead of 4, but you'll probably need to go ahead and use 4. So what you'll need to do is tie the keychains onto the end of each of these 3 pieces of chain. And then once you've done that, at the other end of the chains, you're going to want to put all 3 pieces into 1 keychain. This creates the hanging portion of your hanging planter. Once you've done that and you're certain that it's nice and secure, you can go ahead and add it to your candle holder. Push the 3 remaining keychains through those holes, making sure that they're about 1/3 of the distance apart from each other. And when you're putting them on, do try to be careful to make sure that the paint doesn't scratch off of the metal. Once you're done, you should have something that looks a little bit like this, and then you're ready to go and put your plant in it and hang it from your ceiling. This is what mine looks like, and I actually ended up hanging this on a hook on the wall because I don't have a ceiling hook at the moment, but both of these options work. And last of all, I'm going to show you how to make this super easy and very simple mini basket. It won't take you much time to make at all. So let's get into it. You'll need this exact placemat for this DIY. Mine's a little bit wobbly because I actually tried the DIY first to make sure it would work. And then you'll need a piece of cardboard as a template. Don't worry, you'll get rid of this at the end. This is just going to be your base so that you know where your corners are going to go. So what I'm doing here is I'm pinching the corners together to meet the corners of the cardboard, and then I'm using a string to tie those corners together. I did this about 2 to 3 times for each of the corners. Use a string that matches the color of your placemat, and probably use a thinner one than I'm using. I'm just using this one so that you can see what I'm doing. And then once you've done that, you're going to want to push the corners to the side, and then again go ahead and string the string through and tie it in a really tight knot. Do this for all of the corners, push them in, tie them up, and then once you've finished you can cut those extra pieces of string, and you should have something that looks a little bit like this. It's just a handy little basket that you can use to store some of the knickknacks on your desk.
So those are all of the IKEA hacks and DIYs I'm sharing with you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do let me know by giving it a thumbs up so I know to make more of these IKEA hack videos. And if you do like it, please stay tuned because I'll be making some bigger furniture pieces in the near future. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!